Hey everyone, welcome to the session. So today we are going to dive into a coding problem that will test your understanding of strings, pointers and sets. So we are going to reverse the vowels in a given string. Let's take this example for reference, which is leetcode. Let's say if this is your input. So what you have to do is you have to find out the first vowel from the left and the first vowel from the right and then exchange their positions. And similarly, you have to then find out the second vowel from the left and the second vowel from the right, and then you have to swap the positions. So for example, here if we start tracing this, so the first letter is L and the second letter is E, which is a vowel. So you have E over here, and then from the right side, which is the first vowel that you encounter, this is also E, right? So you have to change the position. So this E, this vowel should come onto the place of this one, and this vowel should come onto the place of this one. All right. And then moving forward, you also have to figure out the second vowel in the string, which is E in this case. And here from the right side, the second vowel is this O. And then you have to shift, like as in you have to exchange the position of these two characters. So the O should be coming here onto place of E, and the E should go onto the place of O over here. So you have to keep on tracing the characters from the string, and whatever vowels you encounter from the left, if you're the first vowel from the left and the first vowel from the right, they have to swap the positions. And similarly, the second vowel from the left and the second vowel from the right, they have to swap positions. And you have to keep on doing this. You have to move inwards. So you have to start tracing from left and also from right. And while you encounter the vowels from the left and right, you have to keep on swapping their positions, and you have to totally ignore if there are any consonants or if there are any other characters in between. All right. So for this, we are going to use the two pointer approach to solve this problem. So one pointer starts at the beginning left, right? So your one pointer will start from the left, start tracing the string from the left, and you need another pointer which will start tracing the string from the right, so that you will be able to find out. And you have to, of course, you are moving inwards, right? Because you are tracing from the left and the right. So let's just get started and see how this can be done, and we'll discuss more about the approach while we code. So first I'm going to create a function. First I'll declare a variable and then assign a function to it. So let reversed vowels and then function, and we have to take a parameter, input parameter. So we know that the indexing starts from 0, right? So if we take this example, lead code example, the first character is at position 0, the second character is at position 1, the third character is at position 2, and so on, right? So the indexing is always going to start from 0, and we need the left pointer. So that means now we know that we can start the left pointer from 0. Okay, so we are going to take left as 0. So let me just write that down. Let left is equals to 0. So we can start tracing the left from 0. Now, how do we figure out the rightmost position? So here we know the length. Okay, we know that, okay, this is going to be the input, but the input can be anything, right? So how do you know that where you have to start from the right side, which is the position that is going to be the rightmost character, right? So for that, you need to take out the length of this particular string, and the length counting starts from 1. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the length is going to be 8. So if you just take out the length of the input and just subtract 1 from that, minus 1, then you will get the last position 7, correct? So that's what we are going to do here. We'll do let right is equals to, and what is the input here? It is S, right? So S dot length minus 1. So we will get the rightmost position. So now we know that every time we encounter a vowel at the left and the vowel at the right, we have to exchange their position. So what does that mean? That means we are changing the input, we are changing the string, and strings are immutable. That means you cannot change the string. So what we'll do next is we are going to convert this string into an array, so that we will be able to make the changes. And then at last, once we are done with the logic, we will just join them back. All right. So let's just split this so that we can get an array. So let's just declare another variable, let chars and s. This is the input, right? Dot split. And we don't have to give any separator. We'll just keep it blank. So now we have the array All we have to do is we have to trace from the left, right, find out the vowels and then swap them. So let's declare another variable and we'll keep all the vowels inside that. Okay, so const vowels, and we are going to take a new set. I'll explain you that why am I taking a set here. So when you do a lookout in an array, that means you would have to use the includes function, array.includes. But if you are taking a set, then you have to use the dot has function, and dot has function has a better time complexity than includes function, and that is why we are taking a set. Now we'll put a while loop. So inside the while loop, we are going to put the condition as while left is less than right, because left is starting with 0, right? And right is going to start with the highest position that we'll have in the string. So we are going to use left less than right. Once they are equal, we will just exit. All right. So here inside this, now what do we have to do? We have to find out the first vowel from the left and the first vowel from the right. Okay. So we are going to put another while loop, and here we'll apply the same condition, left less than right, and here we'll put a not sign. Okay, now we are going to use the has function, vowels dot has, and what do we have to check? We have to check whether the input that is given, the first character of the input, whether that character is present in this set or not. So vowels dot has, we need to put the first character, right? And we already have this array of characters, right? So we will put chars of left, and what is left? What do we have initially? 0. So chars of 0, the chars of 0 would be the first character from your array of input string. All right, so we are saying if the first character from your input is not present in your set of vowels, I put a not sign, right? If it is not present, then what do we have to do? We don't need, then we are not bothered about it, right? Because we only have to work on vowels and not consonants, right? So if it is not present, then what we have to do is we have to switch on to the next character. Okay, and so we will just increment the left. So initially left will be 0, so chars of 0, for example in this one. So if I take leetcode itself here, let me just write it down here so that it is visible. So here when left is 0, then it will take this particular letter L, right? And then here it is going to check vowels dot has, so it will check all the elements that are there in the vowels set, and it is going to check dot has chars of left. What is chars? It is the array of, like, all the input characters, correct? So left is what? 0. So chars of 0, so whatever is available at the 0th position, whether it is a vowel or not. It's not a vowel, right? Because I'm putting a not sign. So it is saying that if it is not, then left plus plus, right? Increment the left. That means it was 0, now you increment it to 1. Okay, then it is going to check again. It will again, like, check the condition in the loop, and it will keep on incrementing till it finds a vowel. So now it is going to find a vowel at position 1 itself. Okay, so the moment it finds a vowel, we are going to exit. It will exit because this condition will become false then, right? So it is going to exit. And once we have that, we are going to run another loop, left less than right. I hope you are understanding why we are writing this particular condition, because we have to keep on tracing from the left till we find a vowel, right? Otherwise it will trace. If I don't put this condition, it is gonna trace everything at once, correct? So here, and vowels dot has, and now we have to trace from the right. So right, and then right minus minus, correct? Right minus minus, because the rightmost position, whatever you have to trace inwards, right? You have to go inwards towards the center. So that is why, for example, your length is 8, then the next one you have to go to 7, and then the next one you have to go to 6. Okay, so here the same thing will happen. It will check if the set of vowel has that character or not. If it does not have that character, then it will switch on to the next left character. Similarly, once it finds the first vowel, what it is going to do is it is going to check from the right, and the moment it finds the first vowel from the right, it will exit. So by the time we are at this line, once this is done, so here we will have the first vowel from the left, okay, and we will also have the first vowel from the right. And what do we have to do? We have to swap them. So let's just take a temporary variable because we have to swap, right? So let temp, and whatever we have in the left, let's just copy that to temp. So chars of left. Now the value that we have at chars of left, right, that vowel that we got over here, here we are just pushing that to this variable, temp variable. Okay, now this is empty. So what do we have to do? The right one we have to copy to this one, right? At the left one. So let me just copy this down. So here we will just copy chars of right. Now chars of right. And what do we need in chars of right? We need chars of left. So here it is. So now whatever we had in the left, we have it in temp. So I'm just going to copy that to chars of right. All right, and after this we have to increment the left and decrement the right. And then once we are done swapping, we'll still have an array, right? So we can just join everything back. So I'll just write a return statement, return chars dot join, and then that's it. We don't have to give any specific character in between, and then that's it. Now let's just call the function and test it out. So we can log it, and what's the name? The name is this, and here we have to pass an argument, right? Because we have a parameter here which is the input. So let's pass first leetcode, and then let's just run this. So now you see the first vowel, which is E, and the first vowel from the left and the first vowel from the right, because both the letters are same. So but anyway, like we'll have E over here. But if you see the second vowel from the left and the second vowel from the right, the positions are switched, right? So here if you see, the O has come here, and the E over here, which is available here, has taken the position of O, right? So now let's just check it on to some other string. If I do this and let's run it again, so you see the first vowel from the left is E and the first vowel from the right is O, and their positions are switched, right? And that's all, like that's all the vowels that we have, at least in this particular string. All right, so I hope you understood this, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.